Welcome back to the Houston Texans franchise on Madden 23, guys. And it was I don't want to say disappointing end to the season because I didn't expect us to make it to the AFC Championship game, and we fell a field goal short of making it to the Super Bowl. To me, that's a win for this team, man. Considering where we were last year and how we finished this year, we were one game over 500 and literally 3 points away from being in the Super Bowl. In today's video, we'll take a look back at the season, look at the season stats, Pro Bowl rosters, and then we're going to take a look at our roster moving forward. Some moves that I'm thinking about making, the draft, free agency. It's a lot going to happen, man. Season 2 was a dub for us. Season 3 has to be a big step forward, and there's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be some player movement. There's going to be some moving around, some signings that we really need to make to take this team to the next level. Sit back, get your drinks, get your snacks ready. Let's get into it. So like I mentioned, man, we finished the season 9-8, started things off with a big dub against the Seahawks. Now, they have a rookie quarterback. We were able to blow them out in preseason. If I remember correctly, we blew them out the water 29-17 in preseason and then turned around and only won by 5 points in the regular season. I believe this is where we figured out that Dameon Pierce was going to be that guy. Yeah, 239 yards and 3 touchdowns. I would say this was his breakout game. We knew at the end of last season that he was really good, but this kind of set the tone for what we could expect this season. But then we went on a 2-game losing streak, losing to our division foes, the Colts and the Carolina Panthers, but coming back and getting a huge dub against the Falcons out on the road, 51-20. 51 points for this team is just unreal. For Davis Mills to only have 1 touchdown pass, and then Pierce having 3 rushing touchdowns. Breida had a touchdown as well, but it was the defense, I believe, that stepped up major for us. As we look at the stats here, we had 4 interceptions of Rittler, 1 from JP, 1 from Stingley, 1 from Harris, and 1 from Lewis. I'm guessing we had some touchdowns on defense. Yeah, we had 1 defensive touchdown, though, which is crazy. I mean, the points just don't add up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a really good game. 51 points is nothing to, sneeze at. But, again, this team, they started figuring out, you know what I mean? They started coming together a little bit. And, unfortunately, we played the Ravens and got dog-walked by 40. Our team didn't show up. We were excited about the bye week coming in, and it showed out on the field. We gave up. It was a stupid amount of yards, 435 yards on the ground. Even looking at the box score gets me upset because look at these numbers for J.K. Dobbins, 247 yards, 5 touchdowns. Lamar had 167 yards and a touchdown. Dameon Pierce had 181 yards. So it was just a running back. It was just a running kind of game for both teams. But to give up 400 yards to one team on the ground, it's just insane, man. And we went into the bye week pissed off. But coming out of the bye week, we played some of our best football, beating the Jaguars and the Colts in back-to-back games. That's division games, so we needed those. But then we lost to the Steelers and the Titans. Then we played the Jaguars again, sweeping the season series with them, which is such a good look. I love to beat our division foes like that. Get 2 wins in the division against one team is important. A tough loss to the Buccaneers in Week 12. Took on Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns, and we handled business against them, 21-point win. Turned around and lost to the Bengals in Week 14, which was a tough one. But then another 50-point game against the Titans, 59 this time. Good look. Beat the Saints by a lot. What was that? Almost 30 points. Then turned around and lost a heartbreaker to the Patriots. Now, we could have went on a 4-game winning streak into the playoffs, but this loss to the Patriots was a heartbreaker. And then we handled business in the season finale against the Chargers, who were a playoff team. But talking about the playoffs, we snuck into the playoffs, and I feel like we shocked the world, man. We put the league on notice that the Texans are here and we're getting better. We got revenge against the Ravens, won by 21 at home. And then we went on the road and handled business against the Bengals, blowing them out the water by 28, getting revenge. So 2 revenge games in the playoffs, handling business, and then again the heartbreaker in Buffalo, losing by a field goal in the AFC Championship game. But again, we weren't expected to be there. We weren't even expected to be in the playoffs this year. I thought we would walk away with at least 7 wins, but to get 9 wins and a nice playoff run for this young team, that's a dub for us. So let's take a look at some of these stats from the season. Davis Mills, 3,619 yards, 20 touchdowns. He did throw 29 interceptions. He completed 60% of his balls and was sacked 43 times. Now, since day one of us taking over this franchise, I said Davis Mills was going to be on the hot seat. The passing yards were down, the touchdowns were down, but so were the interceptions this year. The sack totals were down, the completions percentage is up. Do I think that he's going to be the future quarterback for this team? No, I really don't. And if there's a way for us to find a new quarterback either through the draft or through free agency, I think we have to make that jump. Davis is solid. Okay, he's a solid player. I think it's time for him to have a new home, because 88 throw power is not going to get it done for the type of offense that I like. The deep accuracy is not really there. He's a great short thrower, but the under pressure, the throw on the run, he doesn't have speed really. I like to get quarterbacks outside the pocket. I don't think he's a good fit for the offense that I'm looking to run. So I'm definitely going to be looking to put him on the trade block this year. Hopefully we can get a solid pick for him. Again, there's that quarterback from Stanford, Caleb Stanford, that we are really high on, but we would have to trade up in the draft to go get him. This has to be arguably one of the most dominating run seasons in NFL history. Dameon Pierce carried the ball 484 times for a league record 2,957 yards and a league record 33 touchdowns. He averaged 6.1 yards a carry and 174 yards per game. 5 fumbles, though, on the season. These stats are unrealistic. There's no way we can think a running back would carry the ball almost 500 times in a game. Not in this era of football. But Dameon Pierce this year was different. He has definitely elevated himself to me, in my opinion, as one of the best running backs in the league. If you look back at his totals from the end of his rookie season till now, it's unreal how big of a jump he took. But what does that say about our offense, right? We've got to be run reliant on offense because our passing game isn't really that good. That's why I'm saying I think we need to find a new quarterback. We have some weapons at wide receiver with Brandon Cooks and Will Bush and John Mechie III. And we're looking for another wide receiver to go with that group too. We can't rely on Dameon Pierce to be this good all the time. It's not going to be good for him. I don't want to take off too much tread on his tires. He's only in his second year and has already got almost 700 carries through 2 seasons. That's not good. My ideal for him would be somewhere between 200 to 250 carries for like 1,200 yards and a nice amount of touchdowns. These numbers were crazy, but we needed this for us to get wins this year. So that means next year we've got to get more touches for our backup, Matt Breida. He had 89 carries for 463 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is a great amount for him. Again, I would like to see him more in the 100 to 125 range for about 500 to 600 yards. And then we still have Julius Temple, the rookie from Florida, too. He could be a solid back for us. He had a really good preseason and saw a limited field time during the season. Out wide, the veteran, Brandon Cooks, led the way. 74 grabs for 1,285 yards, 4 touchdowns. Again, I feel like because the quarterback situation was so bad, the touchdown numbers just have not been there for him. Thankfully, we did get him over 1,000 yards. We're holding steady. I mean, the numbers are pretty steady, except for a couple years ago, he had 90 catches for just over 1,000 yards. We've constantly got him over 1,000 yards the past 2 years. He is wide receiver number 1 for this offense, but he's about to go into year 10, which in Madden numbers, you start to age a little bit. I'm looking for a running mate for him. There's a couple guys that are going to be free agents that I think would make a great tandem with Cooks. Because I'm kind of disappointed in John Mechie this year. 50 grabs, 656, and 2 touchdowns. Now, this is his first football in 2 seasons because he had the injury in his rookie year. But he had a lot of drop balls this year. A lot of passes I felt like he should have caught, but he ended up dropping them. He could be a wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 for us in the offense. Brevin Jordan, solid year, 46 grabs, 642, and 5 touchdowns. Big target with great leaping ability. We've got to find a way to get him a little bit more touches. I would love to see him close to about 800 yards with like 60, 65, 70 catches a year. One player I am very high on right now is Will Bush. Rookie wide receiver from Arkansas, 5'9", 199. Again, when we needed some big catches, he made those for us, especially in the playoffs. 40 grabs, 490, and 4 touchdowns. He could be that wide receiver number 3 for us. I honestly think that his talent is better than John Mechie's right now. He's got 91 speed, great hands. The only thing he does not have going for him right now is route running, but we can work on that going into the offseason, coming back next year. I got to change his jersey too. I hate wide receivers that have like the big quarterback sleeves like that. Now you need to show off them guns, my bro. And then Breida out of the backfield caught 24 balls for 120 yards and a touchdown. Pierce, 13 for 127 and a touchdown. And Emmett Crowder, the other rookie wide receiver from Eastern Washington, he had a couple of catches this year. 9 grabs for 209 and a touchdown. Again, this kid is explosive, man. He is one of those guys that I think when we put the ball in his hand, we've got to find a way to get the ball more into his hands. He's got 98 speed, 94 acceleration. The only problem is he's really not that great of a catcher. He's more of a return guy for us or a gadget player with the 91 agility and 76 change of direction. But, again, when he touches the ball, magic happens. Down the line here, Donald Parham Jr., 7 grabs, 44 yards. Derek Young, 3 catches, 35 yards and a touchdown. And Temple had 2 for 7 and a score. And Farrell Brown, 1 catch for 4 yards. To the offensive line we go. Hey, sack totals went down. We went from 50-something sacks down to 40-something sacks. Elgin Jenkins, our star right tackle that we picked up in free agency last year, 8 sacks given up. Larry Tunsil at left tackle, he gave up 7. So not bad for our ends. We did play some really good defensive ends this year. So giving up 15 sacks between the two of them in 17 games, I'm not mad at it. At right guard, A.J. Khan played a lot this year because our rookie was hurt, Adam Rowe. He gave up 3 sacks. Austin Deckles gave up some sacks, 3 sacks. He played 181 downs because Jenkins was hurt in the middle of the season. Talk about Adam Rowe, our rookie right guard. Only gave up 2 sacks, but he was hurt for most of the year. He did play 700 downs. He's a star development now. I think he's going to be a really good player for us in the future. We really got to work on his pass blocking. He's a strong run blocker. We ran a lot to that right side. As you can see, 79 run block, 73 pass block. So I think going into the offseason, that's going to be a main focus for him, getting that pass blocking up. I would love for it to be like 80s across the board when it's all said and done. Kenyon Green at left guard only gave up 1 sack this year, and he played 1,072 downs. Now, who I am very impressed by is our center, Josh Roden, the rookie from the Ohio State. No sacks given up at all this year. I think we found a star player, guys. 88 strength, 76 run, 76 pass. Again, the only thing we really have to work on is the pass block power because he's got great finesse. Run block power needs to be worked on. So if we can get him a little bit stronger going into the offseason, it's going to be a big dub. I don't know if he made the Pro Bowl this year. We're going to have to look and see. But giving up 0 sacks as a rookie starting center in the NFL, I think he deserves to be playing in the Pro Bowl this year. To the defense side of the ball we go. Hey, this side got so much better. Led by Christian Harris at middle linebacker. Last year's Defensive Player of the Year. Over 140 tackles again this year to go along with 155 last year. The numbers pretty much the same. A lot of solo tackles, more assisted tackles this year. 8 less tackles overall. 21 TFLs. He had 2 sacks, 1 interception. He forced 2 fumbles. Last year he forced 5. So numbers were down just a little bit, but still an impact player for us this year. He's leading this squad, man. I think we made the right decision starting Christian Harris and getting rid of Christian Kirksey last year. Second on the team, our free safety, second-year player, Jalen Petrie from Baylor, 128 tackles on the year. And then we picked up Jabril Peppers in free agency last year, 122 tackles, 10 TFLs. We had him playing all over the field. He played sub-linebacker. He played some safety for us as well. But I think the best pickup mid-season, Trayvon Mullen. We got him from the Raiders this year, and he just fit in perfect with this defense. He had 50 tackles here, 83 overall. He had 7 interceptions. 7 interceptions this year. And I want to say most of them were with us. He is a great 1-2 punch with Derek Stingley. He had 2 forced fumbles as well, 1 defensive touchdown. I'm expecting him to be a Pro Bowl nomination. Just a great year, great addition. And we have him for another 4 years on top of this, man. So it's a good look. We got him for cheap too. I think it was like a low round pick. I was looking for another corner to go with Stingley, and again, Mullen is that guy. But this young man right here is the future of our secondary, Derek Stingley Jr. A breakout year for him. 82 tackles, 7 interceptions. So again, both of our corners had 7 picks this year. It's going to be hard to throw the ball on the outside, right? Again, a lot of big plays. He broke up 16 balls. He forced a fumble, had 3 touchdowns. Again, I expect both of our corners to be Pro Bowlers. Desmond King, another corner, 73 tackles on the year, 4 interceptions. I'm kind of upset. I would love to have Desmond King back next year. I think he's a solid slot corner for us, or DB number 3. But he's looking to go elsewhere. Blake Cashman at linebacker. Flashes, man. This kid is very fast. He loves to hit, loves to tackle. 69 tackles on the year, 13 TFLs, 2 sacks. Rookie defensive end Tavares Branch. I was up in the air about this kid. I'm not going to front. When we drafted him and we saw that he had normal dev, I was like, I don't know. I think we made the wrong decision. But I've changed my mind completely. 40 tackles on the year, 19 TFLs, and 7 sacks as a rookie. I'm not sure if he'll be Defensive Rookie of the Year, but really good numbers, a lot to build on. Teaming him up with Grenard on the outside, we have a lot of speed at defensive end. Rookie outside linebacker Dane Landry, he had 40 tackles on the year. Talking about Jonathan Grenard, 35 tackles, 17 TFLs, 7 sacks on the year. He was hurt for a little bit. He had a couple issues going on, but you know what? Good to have him back and healthy. Again, I think him and Branch could be problems for quarterbacks in the future. We got Quincy Williams down here with 34 tackles. Divine Diablo had 34 as well. Tariq Woolen in the secondary, 33 tackles. We got Blacklock down here with 27. Deshaun Hand was a great pickup for us up the middle, 22 tackles, 4.5 sacks. 20 tackles with 6 sacks. You had Owens with 19 tackles. Murray had 19 tackles. Jordan Lewis with 18, and Van Buren, our other rookie defensive end, with 16 tackles. The one thing I can say about this team, man, we did get after the quarterback a lot. Like I mentioned before, Branch had 7 sacks. So did Grenard. had 6. Hand had 4.5. You had Christian Harris, Cashman, and Green each with 2. Landry and Williams with 1. Petrie, Diablo, and Blacklock each with a half a sack. Forced a lot of turnovers as well. Mullen, 7 picks. Stingley had 7 picks. Petrie and King each with 4. Peppers and Lewis had 2. Then you had Christian Harris, Woolen, Owens, and Murray each with 1 interception. Big hits, forcing fumbles left and right. Jalen Petrie, 4 fumbles forced. You had Mullen with 2. Christian Harris had 2. Desmond King, Grenard, Cashman, Green, and Landry each with 1. Now, how did we do with touchdowns, though? Defensive touchdowns. Stingley had 3 defensive touchdowns. Desmond King had 2. Mullen with 1. So did Christian Harris, Jabril Peppers, and Eric Murray. To the kicking game we go. Kai Fairbairn, 30 of 31 this year, 96%. 58 was his long, and we only missed 1 extra point. Real good kicker. I'm not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. Strong leg, very accurate, and he gets points when we need him. Punting, Cameron Johnston, 44 punts for just over 2,000 yards. He had one touchback, but he had 10 of them inside the 20. In the kick return game, rookie Emmett Crowder, like I mentioned before, explosive player, arguably one of the best return men in the game right now as a rookie. 70 returns for 1,679 yards, one touchdown. And that's not adding in the 2 that he had in the playoffs, okay? Again, I'm excited to have this kid on the team. We got to get him more touches on the field. In the punt return game, Jabril Peppers, 24 returns for 228 yards. So let's see where these Texans stack up against some of the better teams in the NFL, man. We were a top 5 offense with 8,784 yards. And as you can guess, more rushing yards than passing yards. I'm not mad at that, man. Average 33 points per game. We had to be the number 1 offense. Yeah, that's what I thought. Number 1 scoring offense in the league above the Bengals, Chargers, and Bills. We probably had the most rushing touchdowns. Yep, 37 rushing touchdowns. That's the most. But passing touchdowns, we are at the bottom of the league. The Commanders and Vikings have more touchdowns than us, which kind of makes me concerned going into the offseason because we want to get this quarterback from Stanford. But there's other teams that's going to be ahead of us that are going to need a quarterback as well. Defensively, we were the worst defense in the league. We gave up the most yards, over 7,000 yards. We gave up 4,681 yards through the air, which isn't the worst. The Jets, Bucks, Dolphins, Cowboys, Eagles, Patriots, Packers, Panthers, and Bills gave up more yards than us. And we didn't give up the most rushing yards, but we gave up the most yards combined. Most points given up, it's us. We gave up 559 points this year. How are we 1 game over 500? QB sacks, we weren't even close. We were probably in the middle of the pack with 34. Fumbles, we forced 9. That was the most. And we had 31 interceptions, which was also the most. So we forced the most turnovers, but also gave up the most points. Taking a look at the yearly awards, Lamar Jackson in line to win the MVP, followed by Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Dameon Pierce is 4th on this list. You've got Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Deshaun Watson, and Trey Lance. And Coach of the Year, Lamont Booker with the Jets, 8 and 9 on the year. You got Zach Taylor 2nd. Brandon Staley from the Chargers is 3rd. Nick Sirianni from the Eagles is 4th. Peter Gaffney from the Patriots, and then Lovey is 6th. Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC, got to be our guy, Dameon Pierce. Any other Texans up here? Probably not, but hey, good to see him number 1 on somebody's list. Defensive Player of the Year is TJ Watt. You got Von Miller 2nd. Khalil Mack is 3rd. No Texans up here. Even with 7 interceptions, we get no love. Okay. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Gary Crawford from the Browns. And we got Will Bush is 6th on that list, and then Emmett Crowder is 9th. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Lee Barnes from the Raiders is 1st. Tavares Branch is going to be 2nd. That's tough, man. I really thought he had a chance. But you know what? That's a good look for him still, though, especially coming in with that normal dev. And then we've got Dane Landry down here, 10th. Best QB is going to go to Lamar Jackson with some of the bigger name QBs behind him. Surprise name up here, Tua. Mac Jones is 7th. Zach Wilson is 10th. Best running back, no duh here. Dameon Pierce, almost 3,000 yards rushing. Wide receivers, we've got Keenan Allen. We've got Tyler Boyd, Corey Davis, Jacoby Myers, Jamar Chase, and none of our guys, man. Robert Woods is on this list. Best offensive lineman, Wyatt Tiller from the Browns. We've got Josh Roden up here, our center, as a rookie. And then you got Kenyon Green, our left guard. Defensive line, you've got Von Miller. And then our defensive ends, Tavares Branch and Jonathan Grenard, are 9th and 10th. Linebackers, you got TJ Watt, Khalil Mack, Max Crosby. And that's it. No Texans on that one. They gypped our guy, Christian Harris. Best defensive backs, of course, our top 2 guys here, Trayvon Mullen, Derek Stingley, 1 and 2. You got Petrie down here at 3. It's a good look, man. Best kicker, Kai Fairbairn. Man, we just racking up, man. We had a really good year. It's good to see a lot of our young talent getting recognition right now. I mean, he blew the record out the water by 800 yards. That's crazy. Wow. And he's got the touchdown record by 6 over Priest Holmes. And he's not going to win MVP. All right, so let's take a look at these Pro Bowl rosters since we will not be going to the Super Bowl this year. You got Burrow, Jackson, and Mahomes at quarterback for the AFC. On the NFC side, Dak, Jalen, and Ritter. Okay. Running back, Dameon Pierce gets the start. You got Ezekiel Elliott on the NFC side. Okay, that's one for us. Tyler Boyd, Keenan Allen, Jamar Chase, Jacoby Myers. So no wide receivers for us. No tight ends. Okay, Lermy Tunsil, a left tackle. That's 2 Texans on this squad. Oh, man, that sucks. Roden doesn't get the call to be a starter for center on the AFC side. So far, two Texans. Wow. 3. There's Trayvon Mullen at corner. He's going to be CB2. Petrie gets it at free safety. That's 4. Fairbairn makes it 5. Okay, I'm not mad at that. 5 Texans make it to the Pro Bowl this year. I was thinking maybe between 6 and 7, honestly. I think the biggest jip is probably going to be Josh Roden at center. And Derek Stingley doesn't make it. He had 7 picks as well. So, something to look forward to. Maybe these guys will have chips on their shoulders going into season 3 and look to make a big point to get these nods next year. All right, we got some upgrades here. It's our guy, Dameon Pierce. 3 upgrades. Again, a star. He's going to be a 90 when this is all said and done. I want his speed to go up. So let's go elusive back. This is going to bump him up to an 89 with a +2 morale. He gets a +1 acceleration, awareness, break tackle, and juke move. Keep going on elusive. That's going to give him a +1 to awareness, change of direction, +2 to juke move, and a +1 to spin move. And we use the last one on power back. 90 overall now. He gets a +1 to awareness, +2 to break tackle, and a +1 to stiff arm. So again, man, this kid he was coming into this to this franchise. He was like low 80s, high 70 overall, and in 2 seasons we've got him up to a 90 overall. The only thing I wish again is that we can get a speed boost for him. 87 speed is okay. Acceleration is going to be a big push to get him faster. But again, he's becoming a problem. He's a superstar X Factor now, guys. Wow. Superstar X Factor Dameon Pierce. And he can get max security. He can get wrecking ball, first one free, satellite, truz, and ankle breaker. So we're not going to sim the Super Bowl right now. We'll look at that later. Let's take a look at free agency, man. Potential free agents coming up. Now, for us, we've got a couple guys who are we're probably going to let walk. Definitely Dwayne Chasen. I'm sorry. We're going to let him walk. Charlie Heck, I might look to bring him back. Definitely want to bring back Donald Parham. But Andy Dalton will probably let walk. Eric Murray does not want to be here, so we're going to let him walk. Jordan Lewis, he has interest in coming back, but I'm not sure if we're interested in him coming back. I might look to go cheaper. Like I mentioned before, Desmond King does not want to come back. So that's going to be 2 holes that we have to fill, definitely in the secondary. But I'm not upset about that. We did re-sign a couple of guys just to add some depth to the squad. But here's one guy that I'm really looking at in free agency. Hopefully he hasn't signed a deal yet because I think we need to go all in for him. And that's wide receiver T. Higgins. Now, he is playing for the Eagles right now. He's an 87 overall, 88 speed, 87 acceleration, 89 catching, 95 catching traffic. Big body wide receiver. That's what I've been looking for. 6'4", 216. Put him on the opposite side of Brandon Cooks. Let him go and be the underneath guy. Let Brandon Cooks be the deep guy. But I think T wasn't really getting used. Oh, he was. Okay. Philly did use him a little bit later in the season, 63 grabs, 882 yards, 6 touchdowns. But I do believe if he comes down to Houston, he's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler every year, over 1,000 yards receiving, no doubt. We just have to find a way to get him here. He's only making $2 million right now with the Eagles, but he's going to be looking for a big payday. And thankfully, we're going to have some money to spend this offseason. Another player we've got our eye on is Jonathan Jones at cornerback from the Patriots, 84 overall. Now, listen, we are losing Desmond King to free agency this year, and I think Jonathan Jones could be a solid pickup for us. 93 speed with 85 man coverage, 80 zone. He's got great play rec, great acceleration and agility, solid catching as well. Now, he is a little bit older. He's going to be in his 8th year out of Auburn, but I think if we can get him for a good deal, this will have to be a move we make. Now this one might be a big reach. Now this one might be a big reach. But if we are able to get Jeffrey Simmons away from the Titans, listen, this defense changes completely. I would take him from defensive end and kick him inside to play D tackle. So it'd be Branch, Deshaun Hand, Jeffrey Simmons, Jonathan Grenard. That's scary. 5th year out of Mississippi State. Last year, or this past season, 53 tackles, 14 TFLs, 6.5 sacks. I think he was a little bit hurt this year. But if you look back, 10.5 sacks the year before. Big body dude, gets off of blocks. The Titans have not signed him. So if we're able to steal one of their best players and bring him to Houston, this could be a big signing for us. I know he's going to want a big deal. He's going to want a lot of money. But I think with those 3 guys, T. Higgins, Jeffrey Simmons, who's the other guy? Oh, and Jones from the Patriots. Those 3, I believe we could be a Super Bowl team next year. I really do. So now it's time to look ahead to the draft. And I keep talking about the plans with Davis Mills. I really don't think he's going to be the future at quarterback for us, because there's this guy right here, man. Caleb Stanford from Stanford, 6'5", 228 pounds. And as you can see, he is a round 1 projected, round 1 talent. Now, his talent went down, which is interesting because he won best quarterback this year in college football. And he has A's across the board. A, deep accuracy, A, short, B, medium, A, under pressure. Like I mentioned before, 6'5", tall quarterback. He's got elite jumping. You guys can't see this. But he has great to elite throw power. Guys, this is our quarterback. This is our quarterback. And again, there's a lot of teams ahead of us that are looking for quarterbacks, so we're going to have to find a way to trade up. Now, I am willing to trade both of our first-round picks and our first-rounder next year if we're able to move up to get him. I just think he's going to be that special. And if that means trading away Davis Mills for another pick, I think we can do that. I think Mills is probably going to warrant somewhere between a 2nd and a 3rd, maybe even a 4th-round pick. The more picks we have, the better. But I think we have to circle Caleb Stanford as the player to get in this draft to take our team to that next level. So here's a look at our board. Again, I'm looking for defensive help as well, especially on the interior. Matthew Rich from Miami, 6'4", 318. We've got him 50% completed, so I'll definitely be looking to finish that off here in the offseason. We've got outside linebacker help with Dalen Woody from UCLA, 6'3", 269. Offensive line, maybe a backup offensive lineman, a backup left tackle to kind of be groomed to be the replacement for Lermy Tunsil when he decides to step away. I've got 3 guys here right now, but 2 of them are first-round picks, so we could probably cancel those guys out. Defensive line help, always looking for more pass rushers. This is Tim Kemp from Clemson, 6'5", 256. Then Justin Chaney. He'll be gone before we can even think about it. I project him to be the number 1 pick. We've got Tyquan Moulton at defensive tackle, 6'5", 304 from Florida. Glenn Rhodes at D tackle from UCLA, 6'1", 353. You got James McDonald from USC, 6'1", 305. Yeah, I mean, we've got a few players here. I think for us, majority of the people we're going after are just going to be depth players. Another wide receiver is Trey Graham from Missouri, 5'11", 195. I really do like him a lot. He's got A catching, A deep route, A release. He's got solid acceleration, good agility, great change of direction, good to great speed. So I'm interested to see what his combine is going to look like. But the A catching and the 8 deep and medium and release have me intrigued. But here's a look at the rest of the board. Receivers, guards, defensive ends, corners. Kind of fill out here. Cortland Davison from Illinois, 6'3", 188. He's projected to go in the first round. He's got B man coverage and C zone coverage. If he could fall to the second round, we would definitely pick him up. Emmanuel Hodges from Oregon, 6'2", 191. He's got C man coverage with C press and B catching. And that's really it, y'all. Like, I think for us, we're going to be more focused on free agency than the draft because we do have Stanford as such a high priority to get. Now, the hard part is going to be trading up to go get them. Because in the latest mock draft, the latest mock draft is from a while ago. They actually don't have him going until 17th. And at that point, we were 10th in the draft. So, where our picks are now, I think we're later in the first round. We have to look and see. Because I think with the Browns pick and our pick, they're late first rounders. Yeah, 17 and 29. So we would have to give up both of these picks and probably our first rounder next year to move up in the top 5. And I would love to see who all needs a quarterback. Let's go through. Not the Titans. The Vikings definitely need a new quarterback, and they are picking 6th. So we would have to get ahead of them. The Bears have theirs. The Bengals have theirs. The Bills have theirs. The Broncos have theirs. The Browns have theirs. Now, this could be interesting where the Buccaneers, how they feel about Tyler Huntley. He's up to a 75 overall. They're picking 31st. Okay, so we don't have to worry about them too much. Cardinals are good. Chargers are good. The Chiefs are good. The Colts definitely are going to be looking for a new quarterback, and they're picking 16th. So we got to get ahead of them. The Commanders will probably be looking at quarterback too. They're going to be picking 9th. So the way it's looking, we're going to have to go top 5 to go get this guy. The Falcons will be interesting because Ritter just got a Pro Bowl nomination, but they picked 21st, so we'll be ahead of them. The Niners with Trey Lance, he's considered the quarterback of the future, so that's going to be tough. The Giants would be an interesting team, but they're picking 20th, so we're good there. The Jaguars are good. The Jets with Zach Wilson, I wonder if he's okay. They got him. They got the 12th pick. The Lions would be a team we have to get ahead of, and they're picking 19th. Okay. And the Packers. The Packers are going to be looking for a new quarterback because Brady's going to retire, and they have the number 3 pick. Now, what we could do is trade Davis Mills to the Packers for their second or third round pick, and then that way they don't go and draft our quarterback. Maybe we'll have to think about that, but they have the number 3 pick, so they're definitely going to be looking at quarterback. So will the Panthers, and they have the number 4 pick. So we might actually have to try to trade up to like 3 or 4. Okay, Patriots are good. Derek Carr's on the way down, and the Raiders have the 5th pick. Okay. So that's going to be a tough one, too. So we're probably going to have to go up to 3. We're probably going to have to go up to 3 to get this done. Is he worth it? I think he might be worth going up to 3 to get this done. And the Steelers should be okay. I think we have to go up to at least 3. Try to get to 3. And trade Davis Mills. Or what we do is offer up a package where it's the 2 first-round picks and Davis Mills for that draft pick. That might actually be the better play. So is it the Packers that we have to look to trade with? Yeah. I think we try to make a deal with the Packers before the draft where we send our 2 first-round picks and Davis Mills for the 3rd round, for the number 3 pick. We'll see how that turns out. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little skeptical and a little nervous about that. So that's a look at the season that was and the plans moving ahead. Now, coming up is going to be the entire offseason. I'm gonna do that off stream. I'm not going to stream it this time. But we've got a lot of moves that we're looking to make, guys. We need a quarterback. We need a franchise quarterback. And I think Caleb Stanford is that guy. We've had this guy circled on our big board for months now. Now it's about putting the pieces together and going to get him. Free agency, we've got 3 guys that we really are targeting in free agency this year. Are we going to have enough money to go get them? That's going to be the biggest concern too. We're looking, man, to make a Super Bowl run in season 3. We have a taste of the playoffs. We tasted it. It was right there within our grasp to make it to the Super Bowl. We fell short by 3 points. I think we have the guys in place, and if we go out and spend the money and get this quarterback, I think next year we will be the team representing the AFC, man. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Is Caleb Stanford worth going to get? And what do you guys think about the potential free agents that could land in Houston? Let me know down in the comments, man. Like I said, up next, the complete offseason. Season 2 is a wrap. We're looking forward to season 3, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're brand new. Don't forget to ring that bell, join the Noti Squad. And make sure you guys check out all those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. And come through and join the Discord fam for exclusive content. King just wanted to say hi to everybody. Have a great day, guys. 2 fingers in the air. Peace. Big shout out to all the members that support this channel. If you would like to become a member, check out the link down below.